Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. I'm going to be branching out a bit. I love making videos, I love sharing them, and so I'm going to be trying some new things. So today is my first travel video. I am so excited about it because it is all about a trip that I just took recently to Churchill, Manitoba. Maybe you've heard of Churchill, maybe you haven't. To many people it is known as the polar bear capital of the world. It's located on the northeast part of Manitoba, getting pretty close to Nunavut, on the Hudson Bay, so pretty far north and an incredible place for wildlife and nature. So the three things that a lot of people go to Churchill looking for, or at least that I went to Churchill looking for, are seeing polar bears, seeing beluga whales, and seeing the northern lights. Now, one really important thing to keep in mind when you go to Churchill is it's not like visiting a lot of other places. If you go to Rome, those buildings are always going to be there whenever you go. Whereas Churchill, so much of what you want to see really depends on the season. So like I said, it's the polar bear capital of the world. If you were really desperate to see a polar bear, there's a certain time you're going to want to go. If, like me, you really want to see the beluga whales, then there's another time to go. Now, since I am merely a fan of Churchill, not an expert, I have brought in an expert. Ta-da! EverythingChurchill.com. They probably know what they're talking about when it comes to Churchill. The question is, can I see polar bears, beluga whales, birds, and the northern lights all in one trip? Their answer is, Churchill has distinct seasons. For example, bear season generally runs July to November of each year, while whale season tends to take place late June to August. While it is possible to see bears, belugas, birds, and northern lights all in one trip, one should not count on it. So you may not see everything, but I totally did. I may be a good luck charm. You should probably bring me with you when you go. I went to Churchill in August, and I am therefore super biased towards going around then. But the reason for that is that the summer is the only time you're gonna see the beluga whales, because they don't like it when it gets all icy. So they're only there like July and August. Whereas the polar bears and the northern lights, you might see them whenever you go. But that's just my bias. I cannot tell you how much I fell in love with this place. So if you're planning a trip, I am so excited for you. If you're not yet, you might by the end of this video. So today I'm going to cover the 6 things you should do in Churchill, Manitoba if you are so lucky as to go there. Number 1 on my list of things to do in Churchill, Manitoba is go paddleboarding with the beluga whales. According to our trusty friend, EverythingChurchill.com, there are approximately 60,000 beluga whales in the Churchill River. When you look out at the water, they are everywhere. And when you go paddleboarding, they are just so curious that they will come and they will swim by your paddleboard, they will follow your board, they will swim underneath and like watch you. Babies! Yes, I squealed a lot when I was out on the paddleboards. They're just so cute. They're so cute. They're like a really cute 4,000-pound animal. Yeah. It is truly a wildlife experience unlike anything else. So it gets number 1 on the list. But don't worry, the next 5 are real good too. So number 2 on the list is to catch the northern lights. The northern lights are something I have wanted to see for so long, basically ever since I found out they were a thing. I just think they're so cool. So if your focus is the northern lights, if that's the thing you want to see most, you'll probably want to go in like February, March, because that's when the sky is the darkest and that's when they're most vibrant. But you can see them at a lot of other times too. And I did get to see them and they were just so beautiful and cool, seeing these like green whirlwinds and like pinkish colors just dancing in the sky. It's so crazy. But if you go in the summer months, they won't be as bright just because you're far enough north that there's still kind of a rim of light in the sky even at like midnight in the summer in Churchill. So that's why you can still see them, but they just might not be quite as bright. Number 3 is to experience the local culture and events. So you might go to Churchill to see the whales or see the bears, but there's so much else to do. We went to an open mic night, we went to a trivia night, we went to free yoga classes. They also have a movie theater. Wherever you're staying, ask for information, find some cool stuff to do because there's always fun stuff to do. Number 4 is to go see Miss Piggy. Not of the Muppet variety. Miss Piggy is the name of a freight plane that crashed in 1979. Everyone was okay. And it's still there, just sitting on the rocks where it landed. And this artist has painted this beautiful mural on it. You can go and walk through the plane, see the cockpit, walk on the wings. Super cool. Number 5 is to go dog sledding. And you can actually do this in the summer or the winter. We visited Dave Daly, who is a local musher. He gave us a talk, and then we got to go on this kind of wooden sled with wheels, and the dogs pull you on that. So in the winter you would go on a regular sled, and I'm sure that would be super wicked, but in the summer it's still really cool to see these incredibly powerful dogs like carry you for a mile. And number 6, the final item on our list, is seeing a polar bear. They are so beautiful. But most importantly, safety first. It is not a zoo, they are wild animals, they are strong animals, and they are fierce animals. Listen to the signs posted around town, listen to people who live in town. Even Miss Piggy, that plane we talked about earlier, that is a place where polar bears are around really often. Or the movie theater that I mentioned, that's in the complex, and behind the complex is a place that the bears really love. So just be smart. If you're walking around, you want to keep an eye out. The same way that if you were in a city, before you cross the road, you look both ways, you just keep an eye out for polar bears, guys. When you do see a polar bear, you want to see it in a safe, enjoyable space. And the best way to do that is with a guide who will take you on a tour. I will do a full video on looking for polar bears in Churchill, and in that I will chat about the guides and the tours that we went with. But for today, I will say that there are a few options. You can go out in kind of a smaller vehicle with a guide, and they'll take you on the roads kind of near Churchill. Another option is to go out on a Tundra Buggy. They're these big, huge vehicles on giant wheels, and they go out through the tundra towards the water and towards the places that there are a lot of bears that are further away from town. And then also you can do a helicopter tour. We did not do that, but you can, and you can see the bears from the sky. Obviously, again, if seeing bears is what you especially want to go for, then you'll want to go during bear season, which is that kind of like October, November range. But we saw one in August. When we went out on the Tundra Buggy, a bear came like right by the buggy, walked right by us, off towards the water. It was super cool. And our guide said that every tour he had taken out the last few weeks had seen a bear, even in August. So another reason why I'm biased towards going in August. It's not just about the whales, but it's a lot about the whales. So those are my 6 things to do in Churchill, Manitoba. But honestly, it's like just skimming the surface. You can do a hike out to Sloop's Cove, where you can see one of the Hudson Bay Company's original forts, which is still standing. You can go hike out to the Ithaca, which is this like massive beached ship. There's generally just so much to do, and it is such a beautiful place, and I really hope that you get to go visit it. That's it for today's video. If you like this video, give it a little thumbs up, really supports my channel, and if you want to be notified about when I have new videos, you can hit the little bell and you'll be notified whenever I put out a new video. Thanks for watching. Bye. Am I hyper exposed? Not like exposed, like camera exposed, you know?